Hey, what's up, anime fans? This is your boy, Rayshawn from the Rayshawn Gatson Anime Podcast. And on today's episode, we're reviewing Bleach Thousand Year Blood War Arc Part 3. We'll be breaking down 6 moments we really enjoy, one least favorite moment, and sharing our predictions for next season. And if you heard we, then you already know that we got a special guest on today's episode. But before I introduce them, if this episode has caught your attention, then sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Before we get started, I just want to allow my guests the opportunity to introduce themselves. Basically, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and also where they can find you. Then let us know which character impressed you the most this season of Bleach.
Hey guys, this is Culture Anime, and you guys can catch me on YouTube where I review a bunch of anime and where we do monthly reviews on Boruto with Rayshawn on there, which has been great stuff lately for the past couple months. Two Blue Vortex has been phenomenal. And for the standout for this core 3, I have to give it to Ishida. Taking on Ichigo, taking him down, taking down Reggie, and then finding out the real purpose of why he betrayed them and all that stuff. Great stuff. I would give him probably top 3 during this core.
Hey, that's a good pick. Such a good pick. That was actually the pick that I chose. So now I'm trying to think in my head, who can I bounce on with? So I'm gonna have to probably go with my first pick that I chose the last season. I have to go with my boy Mairi. I feel like Mairi has been a standout in almost each part, doing something that's literally either helped the society get to where they need to go, or he's taking out a big person. And literally for this one, he did 2 things. He did both of those things, literally helping them be able to get to the royal palace, and for taking out Pernida, which was a hard fight, low key. Even a fight that. One of those fights where if any other person would have fought him, I could see Pernida beating him. You know what I mean? Because you literally had to understand what his ability was, how to counteract it, and still that really wasn't enough. Like, you know what I mean? His ultimate experiment that he's been working on from the beginning of since he's been in Soul Society literally had to help him, and I feel like that was a good moment right there. But I have to give it to Mairi. I thought he was awesome.
Definitely gotta agree. He definitely has some great stuff during this core.
Yeah, he even had some badass moments when he stabbed Kenpachi right in the spleen so he could stop moving. I was like, oh yeah, Mairi ain't playing this. He is not playing low key. But I gotta give it to Oreo too, because I think Oreo Ishida was amazing this season, because low-key my impression of him changed, where I used to be like, okay, he's a background character, he's more like support, helps Ichigo, you know what I mean? So this season I'm like, oh no, he's right there in terms of power, because every person he's had to fight, from Senjumaru to Ichigo to Renji, he has proven that you cannot take him down. You can't not give him his props, low key.
And of course, he held up his own against Ichigo, after learning the Zakpato, Renji's new power up as well too, and taking him down as well too. Granted, he didn't kill him, but he still took them both down for a moment or two. So you got to give him props there.
And we saw all their training. So you know what I mean? We know they got strong. So just going from them to seeing that he was able to just beat them low key, it was like, damn, like, what would you do? You get that much power from just sucking that nigga blood? That's crazy. Feel a little bit angry, you can fucking beat everybody in the Soul Society, man. But okay, before we start talking about our likes and everything and our dislikes, I'm gonna go ahead and give us a summary. This summary that I'm gonna cover basically covers from episodes 5 from 14, because we already reviewed episodes 1 through 4. So most of my likes are going to be between episodes 5 and 14. The Soul Societies face big troubles because Yuobach's power released dangerous parasite that attacks the Soul Reapers. Aizen, a former enemy, helps fight the parasites, even though his power is limited by a special device. Some old enemies like Baz B and other Quincy's joined the Soul Reapers to help stop Yuobach. With help from Uehara and the Visors, they try to open the gate to the Soul Palace. When they get there, they find the Soul Palace has been turned into a Quincy city. They must fight Uehara's army, including Uriel and the Shoe Stuff. Big battles happen with characters like Kenpachi, Mairi, and Sunsui, and they face tough challenges and make hard choices. The actions keep getting more intense as they try to stop Uehara from changing the world. What do you think? Do you add anything to that?
No, that was definitely some good stuff. And then, find out the truth behind, Yudoru's, why he went to the Quincy's and all that stuff. Definitely good stuff right there.
Yep. Yeah, I think the only thing that I could have added here a little bit, well, I guess it's more covered in episode 4 and 3 and 2, but basically our main heroes of Ichigo, Chad, Orihime, and dang, I can't think of her name for some reason. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Yoriichi, they all head to the royal palace and they all try to take down Yuabak before the main other Soul Reaper captains and other Quincy's get there and everything. So they try to hold it down before they get there. So I didn't add that part in there, but I feel like if you watched the previous episodes, you would know that. But okay, jumping right into our likes, I'll let you go ahead with yours first.
All right, before I get into my likes, let's give a shout out. Let's give a shout out to the studio with Studio Pure for doing beautiful, beautiful, beautiful animation. This was movie level animation this season.
Yeah,
movie level. It was truly beautiful, and I was just stunned of how beautiful it really was. Like, we got to give them a shout out to the studio because they deserve the credit. Because Bleach, this arc took it to a whole nother level. Because this right here, it's rated on IMDb as the highest rated season of all of anime ever. Give shout out to the animation studio because they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, you gotta give them props, and the fact that they took all the criticism from the last season, which last season wasn't animated bad. They just had some parts where they had a kind of rush, and I guess they didn't really get to end the final fight between Ichigo and Yuabak. So basically, they had to finish that fight in this season. But I feel like that extra time that they did to give that fight really made it stand out. And at first, I was upset, like, damn, how y'all gonna end it in the middle of a fight? But now, after seeing this season and seeing how far they was willing to go, and all the extra time and all the extra scenes we got, because we did get a lot of extra scenes to make a lot of more moments make sense and things to go with each other. Some scenes did get moved around a little bit, and I think every direction they went for this season was amazing. I think it came out to a phenomenal product. To the end, I always say Bleach is probably the only anime right now where it gets to the last episode and I'm like, damn, I want more. Like y'all talking about y'all want to do part 4 in 6 to 7, 8 months. Oh man.
But hey,
I hope so. They've been doing pretty good. It's been yearly, so you gotta give them that.
And I'm gonna say this: I'd rather get it done right and done correct instead of get a half-ass job.
Yeah, because I don't know what happened with Blue Luck, but they did start coming back towards the end. I heard. I need to get back and try to watch probably the last few episodes because I did really enjoy Blue Luck.
All right, before we get sidetracked and everything, the final episode of Blue Lock, the animation was beautiful.
They was like, you know what, we got to at least do this episode right. And I heard that's the most important one. Like that was like his goal. So I'm definitely gonna at least watch that episode, like Loki.
All right, so for my first like, Rayshawn, I might take one of your likes.
Probably
Yoruichi versus Askin.
Okay.
That, oh my gosh, she looks so freaking beautiful. They animated her. Wow. You could tell they took the time with that fight with her and Askin because my God, that looks so freaking good. And then with her brother jumping in and taking on Askin as well too. And then thinking that they defeated him so they could let Ichigo or Orihime and Chad go up to go to Yuba. He wakes up and he's like, yo, I'm just letting you guys know I'm immune to your attacks now. This is it. If you can't do nothing, you're gonna lose. And then that's right there. That's where the fight really ends because we don't see any more of that fight. But just showing that, her brother was putting in the work against, Askin, and then for him to become immune and Yoruichi being surprised as well too. That there was a good moment. And the animation for Yoruichi was probably one of my favorite moments. Through Core 3.
Yeah, you gotta give her props. I want to say Yoruichi, for the fact that Kisuke sent her up to basically just be that experienced fighter. And she basically just showed that every moment she got to the point where she had to save the Soul King, to the point where she had to save the team like two times she had to save the team. So I mean, the fact that she was sent was probably one of the smartest things out there. I do like when the fight starts off, she comes out of nowhere and basically sets off this big attack that basically like just destroys almost the whole like little town. Or I'll say a few buildings where they at. And the animation on that one was fucking phenomenal. I was like, okay, They really they to me they really pitting her up there like captain level, which I'm gonna say she always been up there, but now you kind of really seeing it, and I'm really starting to like how they doing like their power and how they making like that energy come off, like it's like shaking the ground, and it's like the different effects they're giving off, showing how powerful they are. I like that because it's looking nice, and the fact that I sort of know what's gonna come into play to help her kind of figure out what's gonna happen with that fight, but it's kind of telling, she got a person she kind of teams up with, so you gotta wait till that person comes and help out because man, they gonna need it because when he was like, I'm immune to your attacks, and he basically came back from basically nothing because they had fucked this shit up.
Yeah, they were.
He was like, oh no, y'all don't even understand. Which I will say, he probably could get almost anybody because I feel like his power is so hard to understand. Like, what do you have to do? You basically have to take him out with your first attack. Like you have to kill him completely. Because if not, he's basically gonna get immune to your soul, your spiritual pressure, and now you can't fucking hurt him or anything. But like he can still like affect you with his poison and ability and stuff like that. Like I low key think people like when you trying to measure strength, I think he might low key be up there. Like low key, like 'cause if you don't understand his ability, man, you gonna get fucked. But moving on to my first, like it sort of kind of goes with yours. Your Ichi was amazing, but I'm gonna go with Kisuke. I just liked how smart Kisuke was in planning everything that he basically did to the point to where the fact that he was able to get Nail and Grimjow ready for the fight to the point where he made something for Nail so she can stay in her transformation state. I already talked about earlier to him sending Yoriichi out to with the main cast to help basically buy them time, which a lot of I can never Hirori basically kind of called him out on that, was like, you make some kind of decisions that I'd be kind of thinking like, damn, why would you just send them out there by themselves type shit? But he like, you gotta do what you gotta do. We need to buy as much time as we can type of shit. So I kind of like Kisuke mindset of what's going on, but the fact that you still know that he's gonna try to do whatever he can for his people, low key. So I just want to give him props for that. I think he's been amazing on that front, and the fact that I'm pretty sure he's gonna have some more moments to come.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you because Keith came in clutch multiple times, helping out Grimjow, convincing him to come help out in the war as well too. And just all the thing he has done going back to the Royal Palace, like everything just falls on him. And, let's not forget, the reason why they captured Aizen was because of Keisuke. So let's not forget about that. Let's understand that this man's the MVP that nobody ever talks about. And I gotta agree with you. Like he definitely
the fact he was able to figure out the Quincy's weakness. The fact that he was able to figure out that the reason why they kill Hollows so much is because Hollows is like poison to them. He was able to figure that shit out, which I think Mayuri was kind of like testing that out, but didn't really know. Or when Kisuke was saying, he was like, oh, it just made sense. It clicked with Mayuri. So I'm going to just say Kisuke has been fucking phenomenal. And he was able to get them their Bankais back. Because remember, their Bankais got stolen, and he was able to get them back for them too. So low key, for a motherfucker that got kicked out, low key doing a whole lot of work. Like, I'm putting in a lot of overtime, man.
As of right now, Kisuke is a Shikamaru right now during this war arc. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I want to see him in the battlefield, and hopefully in Core 4, the final one, we see him in the battlefield. It's time for you to hop in there. Let's see what you could really do.
Low key. He's been more behind the scenes, low key, trying to get the computer, everything ready so they can get to the gate. And you like, dang, when he on the play? He's sending everybody else to fight. Like he got chess pieces and shit. When you gonna come out there? But I feel like he gonna have to, because anytime Yoriichi is like in a situation when she about to die, that's her hero. You know what I mean? Like Orihime hero is Ichigo. That's who gonna come and save her. But Yoriichi, we know who about to save her type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, moving on. What's your number 2?
My number 2, hopefully I saying his name right. Gerald, the
Gerard.
Gerard. Yeah, Gerard versus all the captains. And before anything happens, they take him down quick. And Byakuya is just using his Bankai and just destroying everything about him. Like, they're doing major damage. They're like, before anything happens, let's just kill him. And because, these Quincy's always have a backup plan. And at first you see his helmet pop up, land on the ground, blood all over. You're like, damn, that was pretty easy.
Anticlimactic.
And then they're just walking away, and then boom, my boy transformed into a goddamn Titan and just causing havoc. And that right there, and I'm not gonna lie to you, once again, the studio, the animation was really good because they could have made him 3D and made him look very, very sluggish and ugly, but they still draw him 2D, and the animation was really good as well too. And we're gonna see, as of right now, he was taking them all down, all the captains. Like, he was just no issues at all. And unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait to Core 4 for that battle to, continue. But it's just a great setup for what's to come because it's all the captains against him in his Titan form. I know it's not his Titan form, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, I think it's gonna be really good to see all the captains work together to take, this giant down.
Well, if we going back, I mean, he knocked out most of the captains. I think now we got the visors coming in to fight him right now, which I guess you could still say they part of the captains because they are captains. But I think it's interesting. I hope they do get done a little bit better than they did in the manga. I hope because some of the extra scenes that they talk about, they saying it's almost going to be like almost half of it's going to be extra stuff they're going to be adding to the next part. So I hope they get some better scenes for what against Gerard, because that's if they get done like they do in the manga, bruh, like especially because Senji is one of my favorite characters, the captain of I think the 5th division that took over for Aizen, low key. Well, actually, he just took his shit back because Aizen took him, low key.
Oh, dude, real quick, when they all transformed to the Hollow, I was like, oh, that shot was badass.
Low key, and then they supposed to be low poison towards the Quincy. So I wonder if they can utilize that a little bit more in this fight. But I will say I do like how Byakuya was when Jiraiya was just explaining, talking and shit. He like, oh hell nah, I don't know what his ability is, but the way he talks,
let's fucking kill him.
he just got rid of him. And I like how Senji was like, y'all not gonna let it was somebody else, and it was like, y'all not gonna let him power up or do something. He like, hell nah, we don't know what their abilities are. He was about to do something crazy. I like it. And I like how they on guard because low key they've been out here doing some crazy ass shit. And you don't know what they do. And the fact that majority of y'all got killed by the sniper, by little Barrow when he was just sniping people randomly, which is actually my next like. So I'm sliding that. But what you about to say something?
Yeah, because like after they kill him, they thought they killed him. It was like, all right, cool, we're done here. Let's keep it moving. And then he came back and was like, oh shit.
I told you. That's what I was saying. I knew he was about to do some crazy shit. Oh, damn. But moving on to my next one, I kind of told you what it was. The scene where you got Lil Barrow just sniping off the Soul Reapers, to me has to be one of the best scenes because it just shows how merciless these Quincy's are to these Soul Reapers to the point where they're like, I don't give a fuck. Y'all believe in having a face-to-face fight? Nah. y'all better keep your eyes on your shoulders because man, it's about to be off your heads because he is not playing. And I just like the scene where you just have Soy Fon's her vice captain, and I think I can't think who else. It was another vice captain, and I should know his name, but it's Tozen, his vice captain. Dang, I should know his name, man. But they basically get fucking shot up. So that whole scene of them basically getting sniped up from Lil Burrow, I thought that was a pretty dope scene. What you think about that?
Oh, dude, I have to agree with you. Like him just sniping everybody, just fucking them all up, and like it was just so good because like he was utilized perfect there to taking down the captains one by one, one by one, one by one. I'll show the OG popped up in a few.
Oh man, and I love that this got us to see one of the best fights of this season when you get my boy Sunsweet finally showing us why he the head captain and even said the line like, don't forget, motherfucker, I am the main man now. I will say it gave him aura, but it didn't give him Yamamoto aura. I feel like Yamamoto aura was different. I felt like when he got when he pulled out his sword and he was ready to fight, motherfuckers knew to move. Like you know, like they knew to go. And I just don't know if Sunsui give that same fear. But I do love this moment though, because we've been they've been trying to show us his Bankai for a moment, and they didn't show it during the fake Kuragura town
Town.
arc. So it's like, man,
And talk about Sunsui. We see his Bankai. That was really good.
that your next like.
Yeah, so but before he even does his Bankai, right? Mind you, he done got shot 3 times, one through his chest, his shoulder. And I think he almost caught him in the head, or I think it was twice on the shoulder, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Our boy was bleeding out bad. And then he hides out and he says Bankai. And then you see the entire basically palace turn into shadow. Because mind you, when Yamamoto uses Bankai, you can feel it. It's sucking the air out of everybody's breath. And then you seeing Ichigo like, holy shit, what is this? And you seeing everything become shadow and him playing in the shadow, I think was truly phenomenal. Like I said before, I'm going to say it again. The animation studio did a phenomenal job with Shunosi's Bankai.
I'm gonna say I'd like some of his Shikai abilities too, because his ability to basically like jump into the shadows and kind of go in a straight line to be able to get Lil Burrow off guard after he thought he shot him. Thought that was pretty cool, and the fact that he's probably, in my opinion, one of the fastest captains we've seen, because it seems like he's the only one that can leave like doubles and stuff like that. So I don't know if anybody else can do that, but he's the only one I've seen being able to really do that. And I just like the fact that him pulling that Bankai out, just like what you were saying, but it's like a dark, depressive aura that kind of just goes over the whole battlefield. So I will say his powers seem like they can affect a whole big field of shit. So I won't say like he's weak or anything. I'm just saying when I say I don't think he has the same aura as Yamamoto, I just don't feel like, I just feel like when Yamamoto pulled out Bankai, it was a moment. You know what I mean? Like, he could have tried and killed almost all them motherfuckers with just his Bankai.
And,
So
and, the whole thing is too, you gotta give him credit. 'Cause, like, he's durable. He has a giant hole in his chest.
oh yeah, you got to give him props for that. I will say, I do like something Shinji said, and they was like, "Are we gonna go help the CAD captain?" Like, hell the fuck no, we not. That's the fucking that's his job. He better go out there and do what he about to do. You don't get to take that title and need backup. You know what I mean? Like, you better go out there and show us why you fucking captain out here. So I thought that was pretty slick. And the fact that he did take on that big fight right there. And the fact that he was still trying to keep going. Like, the only thing that stopped him was the fact that it was just so much the injuries. He just was like, yeah, I can't. Like, okay, I can't.
Also, we can't forget too, like his Zanpakuto spirit. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm misreading it, but it looks like they're both in love with each other because he's laying down on her lap and he's like, yo, I'm just over it. And at the same time, she's feeling jealous. She's like, hey, coming from a man who's wearing another woman's, cloak and all that stuff. And that right there, I think was a good interaction between them, just showing that, they are one with his Zanpakuto spirit. Like, they do work together really well. So I think that was a good, a dialogue right there between them two.
True. And also his backstory made you feel like, damn, it's like everybody died close to him and be like, hey, hold on to this for me. I want you for this to be like, damn, I can't get I got all these burdens on me and shit. I feel him on that. I thought that was an interesting thing that put into his backstory. But for my third, like, I wanted to say, I thought this was probably my next favorite fight. Yes, my next favorite fight during this season, because I felt like these two characters was like, you want what we showed you before, what we could do. Fuck that. We about to show you what we really capable of. My boy Reggie and his fight against Oriole was fucking amazing. Bro, like you just have to give him props. I want to give more props to Renji, because just the way he was using his Bankai And the fact that he was just like kicking arrows back into the sky and shit like that, I'm like, oh, my man is moving different now. The fact that he got that Bankai, he's a whole nother Soul Reaper. But what you think of Renji before? He's not the same Renji. The Renji before would have got his ass kicked when he when he first shot off his Zanpakuto at Oreo. But this man just got so many crazy techniques to the point to where you think he almost beat Oreo because he hits him with the same move he hit Demasculine with, that basically that snake move when it like bites down. But Oreo hitting him with the blue vein and not being able to stop it, them Quincy abilities are nasty. Key. But him basically being like, oh, you think you the only one that got powerful, and him going into his little Boston dish and him taking them on. I do like the way they animate his abilities for Oreo. I wish they kind of explain it though, like, because I'm like, what are those like arrows that's just like keep following him and then come together and shooting like. But I will say the fight was fucking great. You know what I mean? I was hurt a little bit when you kind of thought that he might have killed Renji at the end of that, but you get to see Renji come back towards the end, and you're like, you start to kind of pit those pieces together that, you know, Oreo's fighting all these people, but somehow he's not getting the win. And he low-key looked like he should be getting the win. So he's not pitting everything into this low-key. And the fact that he, in the beginning of the fight, he's just telling Renji, y'all need to go. Like, it's no way you Soul Reapers can even win anymore. Low-key. Like, I don't even think he's saying that in a way that's like, after you see the end, I think it kind of makes you kind of think more about that scene where it's like, I don't think he was saying that in a way to be like, nah, like y'all worthless, y'all can't do it. Like, nah, this man is on another god tier power, and somebody on that type of level needs to be able to fight him. Which is kind of crazy to think he there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Venji, I'm not gonna lie to you, gave me like old school Vegeta vibes because he came in this fight arrogant, confident because he had a new power, and he was just focused on showing off his new Zanpakuto and everything, like his new powers and everything. He was just focused on showing off that, hey, I'm stronger now. I can take you down. I don't need nobody helping me. I got this. Until, you know, Ishida showed off that blue vein and then hit him with that bow again that took down Ichigo. I'm like, oh, just give me old school Vegeta vibes. But Venji did hold his own, because I'm not gonna lie to you, his new power was overpowering Ishida for a little bit. Like, even Ishida was like, oh shit, like, where did this come from? Like, you didn't have this before, and it was a good fight. But like I said before, it gave me old school Vegeta vibes.
Yeah, because I was even going, like, when I wrote down, it was like, for a moment there, it made him seem like he was stronger than Ichigo. Because Ichigo didn't even seem like he was pushing Ishida this much. Because it was literally that point where it's like a ape arm that's part of his Bankai, and it like basically traps Oreo, and then he comes out of nowhere and try to hit him with that move, and you're just like, oh damn, he got this win pretty quick. And then he's like, oh fuck that. Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what that Quincy blood can do to you. And he did not play with my boy. And the fact I like everybody else's like mindset during this, because before they even fight, because even Renji's like asking Ishida, like, are we really fighting? Or are you about to like show me a secret way so I can go fight you a buck? Like, what's actually going on? And he like, you wanted to go against me. But see, I will say what you said, Renji being cocky, because I don't think he believed Oreo could have gotten so much stronger that he had did low key until he had to see it for himself and be like, oh damn, you know what I mean? He low key might can kill Ichigo because he did threaten to kill him. And I like the fact that he like how he in that fight, because he basically like, yeah, the 3 reasons you couldn't beat me, and the last one is because you're a Soul Reaper. I was like, oh damn,
that was cold. That was cold.
Well, okay, he ain't playing. What's your fourth?
My fourth, you kind of said it earlier, was Shunishi's backstory with everybody giving, you know, personal possessions of theirs at the end. Like, hey, before I die, here's these handpins. Before I die, here's this cloak of mine. You know what I mean? And it just sucks. Like, everybody close to him is dying, and they're just giving them personal stuff to hold on. You know, it's just that was really heartfelt, because I'm like, damn, man, everybody just giving personal after personal, the personal possessions to him. But overall, I think it was a great backstory that you pointed out earlier.
And I think what's also crazy about that backstory, and the fact that you can also add on the fact that he's also just lost his best friend. And this man has literally been
Lost
through so
everyone.
much, and I mean his father figure. He's been through so much loss within this arc. It's fucking crazy, and the fact that he has to still take a leadership role and still be the main head captain and try to get them through this, it's crazy. Because I mean, like he doesn't have his backup. You know what I mean? His dude to be his backup. He tried to take help, slow down Yuabak his way, and he just ended up as a sacrifice. And I know that gotta be just crazy to see your man just sitting there like in a suspended state. Like, what the hell is going on with him? Like, but yeah. For my next one, I have to say, I always say there's certain characters, especially that are like super smart, you know, the strategy types like your Shikamaros, your Mai Iris, or Orochimaros, your Kisuke's. If these motherfuckers come up to you and they want to fight you, then you probably need to go because because they must got a plan to defeat your ass type shit. So my next like have to go to Mairi and the fact that this man literally takes on Pernida and basically uses just his strategy to break down all his abilities and everything that you think Pernida is about to get him with in the beginning of the fight. He's like, oh no, I already created something to stop that. Oh, you think your veins are gonna attach to? Nah, that's not. I already got something that's gonna break that. It's gonna make that not even affect me. I didn't already incorporated some of y'all Quincy's abilities. Now I can glide around the battlefield and like I just like the fact that just when you ever see Mairi like talking down to a motherfucker, you know it's about to be a nice fight. like low key to the point where he's talking so much shit to Pernida, basically like, yeah, I'm about to pitch you in a bowl and everything. Like I'm about to experiment and all this type of shit on you. And you just sitting there like, okay, this motherfucker. But I like seeing that moment where Pernida takes everything that he thinks he know and basically his ability to adapt is basically overworking his ability to see what he can do. Because even his new Bankai that he basically has basically takes all the information that he takes from a fight and tries to make something that can beat it, could not win against something that can continuously adapt. So I love seeing that basically be the thing that hurts him in this fight. But to see that his creation that he believes that's going to put him higher than Kisuke, because that's low key his thing that he's been trying to do is prove that he's more smarter or he can have better accomplishments than Kisuke. Because I mean, Kisuke is like God, like low key. The fact that some of the shit that he's like created, I mean, the thing that's inside of the Hokyokyu, the thing that's inside of Aizen, like what the fuck is that? Like he just made that in his mom's basement. Like that's so I like the fact that now you got Mairi basically saying, you know, I created life, and that life basically showed me how important it wanted to show me my success was. So I liked that little moment you see that, and the fact that when it was all over, I liked seeing him fight to keep her brain. I thought that was pretty dope because that was the first time you actually got to see a different type of emotion from him right there.
So I got the same leg as well too, so I'll go more into it as well too. Like seeing Nemu have her own will protecting Mayuri, he was looking at her like, why are you protecting me? And she's like, no, I have my own will now. And then he's learning that ever since Ichigo and everybody came around, like she's been, adapting more and seeing how they have free will, and then she wanted her own free will as well to protect Mayuri. Like that was her number one goal, is to make sure that he's always protected. Because there was one point like it looked like he was about to get killed, and then she lost her arm, and they both that right there was a really good scene. And then for her to sacrifice herself, that was really good. And then, like you said before, just for him to make sure that he protected the brain and save her brain and everything, just showcase a whole new emotion level of Mayuri. Like he's always cold blooded. Let's be honest, he's always cold blooded. At that moment, you see a real Mayuri right there. I think that was a real him. That he just showed, like he keeps all his emotions to himself. At that moment, you saw who he really is, and that right there was really good.
Yes, I and he just got to give him credit for that because I mean, after that, he takes him and Kenpachi into these I guess they're healing chambers. And he also I think he lets out some of the visors and because he helped heal them. And Hisagaya, he helped heal Hisagaya from his bullshit too. Because they all had got turned to zombies. But I think whatever he did to help heal them also affected their lifespan. I don't know how much of their lifespan it took away, but I think they are gonna die a little earlier than they were supposed to, low key. Moving on to my next like, and actually my last like, because I already talked about my fifth one, which was basically the new head captain basically showing us his Bankai and showing us how awesome he is, low key. And the now basically getting to show her family her family, it wasn't even a Bankai, her family Zanpakuto, and getting a nice moment from her, which I think she do deserve because she has some nice little moments. Because I feel like a lot of people don't be giving her credit because she did come up with some of the barriers that was supposed to help keep the Quincy's from coming in and just attacking them. She did come up with some of those stuff. She was she also kind of helped with Kisuke, not Kisuke, but Swin Street trying to keep him like in the battle in the fight, basically like, hey, don't die. I'm gonna go talk to these motherfuckers, and when I come back, you better be alive, low key. And then like I just loved her energy throughout, so I want to give her props. For my like though, I want to give props for this is probably this is another fight, low key. There was a lot of nice fights this season, and I pretty much enjoy that. But the next fight I want to talk about is more of a one-sided fight. But Basby and Hodgewalt, I think that's how you say it, Hodgewalt, they fight was good, even though it was kind of one-sided, where Hodgewalt was basically kind of beating Basby's ass majority of that fight. But I feel like what really helped that fight look good and come out to be and have a good moment within the season was the backstory. When you get to see their backstory of how they met as kids, where Basby is looked at more as the prodigy because he's able to shoot off arrows, he's able to make a Quincy bow, which Hoshwalk, he couldn't do that, low key. Until the moment where you get Uabok basically destroy his old neighborhood, his whole. I don't know to say if it was his family or just his family there, because it seemed like it was just a whole bunch of Quincy. So I'm gonna basically say his neighborhood, and the fact that they basically like from that moment they like, yeah, we're gonna go kill this motherfucker, to the point where they go see him, and he basically say Hashwash is Oswald is basically the top Quincy is gonna be his next number one type dude. And you just see Baz B just like hurt, like damn, like for real. I thought I was the prodigy. If you was gonna pick one of us, I thought it would be me. So I think in that moment when he didn't give what's his name props, that hurt him. But low key, I feel like this whole fight, all Baz B wanted from Hoshwalt was basically to be like, hey, let's team up and go fight this motherfucker. I feel like that's all he wanted in that fight, low key. But that's my interpretation. I don't know what you felt, but that's how I felt.
Yeah, because their backstory is pretty crazy for them to grow up with each other, and then how everything just turned out with Yuba taking Hashu and all that stuff. But overall, I definitely agree. It was definitely a great fight, and once again, the animators did a phenomenal job with that fight, and you felt the person, like it was truly personal between those two.
Man, to the point like he just all I wanted was this fight, low key. I just felt like he just wanted to be like, bruh, snap out of it. Let's go get together and beat this motherfucker right now. He was like, nah, I'm not about it, nigga. You died. That moment when he asked, when I looked at you and wanted you to be like, I'm happy for me, and you looked at me like, fuck you forever. But let's go. You got another like?
Yes, my final like, right? We're doing our final likes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's why we finally know the why. Hold on, we finally know the truth why Ishida wants to betray Ichigo, why he decided to join the Quincy's, and it was because He was looking through his I think it was either his grandfather's research book or I think his father. I can't remember which one.
It's his grandfather's.
And it turns out he found the truth about his mother's death. We all thought that she died of some type of illness, and she actually died because of Yuhaba holy selection, where he killed all the Quincy's to get their powers back. And that's right there. That's when Ishida was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do this on my own. I felt like he could have came to Ichigo with this information, and Ichigo was gonna ride out with him no matter what. Like that right there, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you know, Ichigo, he's gonna have your back no matter. Even now, he still has your back. Like, he does not care about, you know, whatever, you know, how you will feel. Like, he's gonna be there for you, and he's gonna ride out. And both of you could have took on you about it if you guys really wanted to. And I understand why Ishida took the burden on himself, because he felt like, you know, he's a Quincy. This is personal and all that stuff. And at the time, he didn't know that Ichigo was part Quincy as well too. So that right there kind of played a factor at that as well too. But overall, I think it was cool to see why Ishida betrayed Ichigo and what's the reason behind it. And, you know, Yuhaba really being a piece of shit.
Yeah. But also, he has to be able to get close enough to Yuabak to be able to do whatever he needs to do. So he has to be able to do that without looking like he's trying to attack Yuabak. So basically, look like he's not going to betray him. And you have to do that with somebody that can literally look into the future. Ain't that some bullshit? Basically, like, and I can see why he's like, you know, I can't ask for anybody for no help. I don't even know what all these people abilities or if these soul reapers are even gonna be strong enough to even fight low key. So I think some of these fights where he's seeing some of their abilities, he's kind of like, oh, okay, y'all a lot stronger than what I thought y'all was gonna be type thing. I do think it was kind of. I thought it was interesting how at the end you have Hoswatch basically getting the Almighty and he's pushing Oreo around basically like, I know what you're planning, what you're plotting and everything. And the fact where he's still telling Ichigo to go and everything. And the dude was like, yeah, I already got rid of y'all escape plan. Like, I'm telling you, I can see what you have to do. Like, I don't know what you're not understanding about that. So I thought that was interesting because it's like, come on, y'all got to understand these people's abilities, which also makes you wonder how his ability works. Because I've been hearing a lot of people think that his mom might have had the antithesis too, for that being the reason why Oreo was probably one of the few people not being one of the Quincy's being attacked by this, which also I wonder what his dad did to be able to not to get affected by this too. So
True.
I feel like there's a lot of things you got to think about. But moving on to my least favorite moments, I didn't have a lot of least favorite moments. There's a lot of things I literally had to just kind of make a problem. And for these two things, these are just little things I just really just made a problem out of nothing. Okay, so for my first one, I hated how fast Kenpachi was basically kind of just taken out. You know, I wish he would have had a little bit more moments during this season. He basically gets done in by Mayuri once he gets to like stab him in the spleen, and you don't really get to see him much more after that, if I'm thinking correctly. And then for my second one, I say I just hated that our head captain couldn't get the win. You know what I mean? Like, damn. I feel like he should have been able to get that one at least. But you got any least favorite moments?
I'm gonna be cliche. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want more.
Oh,
that was it. Because the way it ended, I was like, no. I want to see Ichigo against Yuaba. Yeah. I want to see Ishida versus, you know, the heck
Hashwa.
Hashwa. Like I want to see that fight. Like I didn't like it. It just ended there. That was it. If I want to be, you know, complain about something, that's about it. But overall, like I said before in the beginning of the episode, the animation studio did a phenomenal job. Like it was truly phenomenal. Like I felt like I was watching a movie every episode.
I'll say yes. The animation of this season was fucking phenomenal. And the fact that, yeah, what you were saying earlier, a lot of their episodes were in the top, like, rated episodes every week. Like, I think especially a lot of the Bankai episodes were, like, high. And I think the last episode was pretty decently. I just wish it could have been, and they could have added on a little bit more. Like, I hate when you, like, looking at the time and it looked like it should still be some time. And then they stop it to do a little promo for the next season. You're like, oh hell nah.
Yeah.
we could have got at least a face to face with somebody. Like we could have went back to a fight. Like damn, but they got you ready for next season, low key.
Yeah, the final one.
You got a favorite episode or anything?
Probably Shirisu's Bankai episode. That was truly phenomenal.
Yep, that's my favorite episode. Episode 9. Don't chase the shadow.
Yo, dude, when he came out and he was laying down and he was laying like in the circle of I believe of shadow, like he was literally in the middle of it, like of the wording. I was like, that's fucking badass.
Yeah, I like how the hands all kind of like all reached out and shit. You're like, oh hell nah. I wonder what this about to do. Because I always feel like a lot of people, I don't know. It seems like some people have like maybe 1 or 2 Shikai abilities, but it low key seemed like since we got like 10, like you don't understand all his abilities, bro. It'd be crazy because he'd be coming out of nowhere where he got the ability where he can just come throughout the shadow, or like the ability where it's like if he has the upper ground, he's automatically gonna win, or the ability with the color and the clothes. Like it's just basically it takes all children games and basically turns them into like a fighting situation type of thing. But it's interesting, like low key.
Definitely.
Any predictions for next seasons?
We're finally gonna get that matchup, the rematch, the final match, Ichigo versus Yuhaba. I'm ready for that matchup, and all the head captains again, Gerald.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that fight happen. Low key. My first prediction basically, we definitely gonna see them Vizards get they fight with Gerard. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good fight. I hope we get to see some new abilities, but they probably going to lose. Hopefully we get to see Kampachi's Bankai. I know it's been kind of like, hinted and low key getting to that point, and I'm hoping we get to see that. My third prediction is it's more of like a hope. I want to see Ichigo and Oriole's dad basically, kind of have a moment in the fight, or even just Oriole's dad, because I mean he did lose. They both lost their wives. Like I was about to be like he lost his wife, but they both. I hope they be able to get into this fight and be able to do something low key, or at least take out some Quincy's. I think in the manga they come in to basically help give some Oriole something, but I just wonder. I just hope they be able to actually do something low key.
Oh, plus like we can't forget Aizen. What is he gonna do?
Oh yeah, my boy. He's still free. He got to get out of the chair. He got to get out of the chair. He's still sitting in the chair low key, which I feel like he's gonna get out of that bitch, and we gonna get a nice little fight with my man. Because if you think about it, his ability might be the only ability that can affect the Almighty, because it might can affect how he sees the future if he can affect the reality. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, you got any more predictions?
No, it's pretty much it. I'm ready for the final core. I'm ready.
Loki, I can't wait, man. We haven't got any hints on when it's coming out. I'm pretty sure probably around winter time next year type thing. That's what I'm hoping. I hope they don't try to do no 2026. I'll be like, oh, fuck that. But man, don't you feel old sometimes when you be like, damn, man, it's like 2025. Like, dang. I was born when it was like 1990s out here now. Like we get crazy out in this bitch. And with that, we end today's episode. I want to thank my guests for coming on. I also want to thank you listeners for listening to this far in the episode, and also I tell you guys to like and share and subscribe wherever you're listening. And with that, I just want to say peace.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.